Well, hi, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is Godstream, the podcast. And so today we're going to talk about the importance of July 4th, why it should mean something to you. And I want to welcome you all to the podcast today. We are deciding that this is going to be our first broadcast, uh, and coincidentally, it would be on July 4th, our Independence Day. So I'm your host, Sherman Ray. I'm the pastor, one of the executive pastors over at Family Worship Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm the producer of Godstream. And many of you might be wondering what Godstream is all about. Well, really, it's all about Christian news and views and kind of our look on Christian life a view of life from a Christian narrative. And so we thought it was actually pretty appropriate that we would look at the importance of the observance of Independence Day here in the United States from a Christian worldview. One of the things that I saw is a really cool article that I got from the History Channel, and so I'm going to read from it because I think it really kind of encapsulates a lot of the sentiment that we at Godstream are adopting also, and I hope you enjoy it. And then at the end of it, we'll talk a little bit about why that is so important to us as Christians. So here we go. The 4th of July, also known as Independence Day, or July 4th, has been a federal holiday in the United States since 1941. But the tradition of Independence Day celebrations go back to the 18th century and the American Revolution. On July 2nd, 1776, the Continental Congress voted in favor of independence. And 2 days later, delegates from the 13 colonies adopted the Declaration of Independence, a historic document drafted by Thomas Jefferson. From 1776 to this present day, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, with festivities ranging from fireworks parades and concerts to more casual family gatherings and barbecues. The 4th of July 2023 is on today. It's on Tuesday, July 4th. So let's talk a little bit about a brief history of the Revolutionary War. When the initial battles in the Revolutionary War broke out in 1775, few colonists desired complete independence from Great Britain, and those who did were considered radicals. By the middle of the following year, however, many more colonists had come to favor independence thanks to growing hostility against Britain and the spread of revolutionary sentiments, such as those expressed in the best-selling pamphlet Common Sense, published by Thomas Paine in early 1776. On July 7th, when the Continental Congress met at Pennsylvania State House, later Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the Virginia delegate, Richard Henry Lee, introduced a motion calling for the colony's independence. Amid heated debate, Congress postponed the vote on Lee's resolution, but appointed a five-man committee, including Thomas Jefferson of Virginia, John Adams of Massachusetts, Richard Sherman of Connecticut, Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, and Robert R. Livingston of New York, to draft a formal statement justifying the break with Great Britain. On July 2nd, the Continental Congress voted in favor of Lee's resolution for independence in a near unanimous vote. The New York delegation abstained, but later voted affirmatively. On that day, John Adams wrote to his wife Abigail that July 2nd will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival, and that the celebration should include pomp and parade, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other. On July 4th, the Continental Congress formally adopted the Declaration of Independence, which had been written largely by Jefferson. Though the vote for actual independence took place on July 2nd, from then on, July 4th became the day that was celebrated as the birth of American independence. The article goes on to say that Mr. Lee would, for the next number of years, protest any invitations to have July 4th as the actual day that we celebrate our Independence Day, but that the actual day that we actually voted for independence was actually July 2nd. So what does this mean to us as Christians? What this means to us as Christians is a day that we declared our independence from a nation that held over us its force of will, far exceeding that of what God had actually meant for a free people. And today, we are under that same guise right now. We're under that same heavy hand of government. But now the government is the government of the United States trying to exert its will over the people of the United States, far exceeding that which God had meant for his people to have. Benjamin Franklin said something very interesting after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Do we have a monarchy or do we have a republic? And his answer was, we have a republic if we can keep it. Christians need to continue to fight for the independence and the free will of man in the United States. And Godstream is going to be a part of that by bringing you up to date and the latest news and views and reviews of what's going on, not only in the United States, but outside of the United States. Anything that could affect the United States, we'll be talking to you about. So we hope you'll stay tuned for Godstream, not only here on our podcast, but watch us on our website at godstream.org. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and we really encourage you to subscribe to our Facebook page and to our YouTube channel. This has been Sherman Ray for Godstream, wishing you a happy 4th of July. We'll talk to you soon.